Thanks for being in the Isla Press Room.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Before we start, can we have a look at your outfit?
Yes, of course.
What is your style? How would you describe your style?
I would say my usual style is like casual chic, I would say. When I moved to Berlin, which was 3 years ago, I had this phase of wanting to fit in with Berlin style, which is, like techno-inspired, chains and a little rougher, which is really not me.
I cannot see you in that look.
No. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can try this, but it really just didn't feel like myself. And then when I still lived in Munich, I dressed a lot more posh, I would say, which is also not me anymore. So I would say now it's a mix of the two, a bit more laid back, but still chic. Yeah.
And always with the great blowouts. Always with the blowouts. Yes, amazing hair.
Thank you.
The hair is well forever. So I invited you today to show you the products that we've been working on. And I'm going to show you the results of the products. I mean, I've mentioned it to you before, but now you can get to see them in person. So here are the designs. So what is usually your nail style? What do you usually put on your nails?
Yeah, I usually go for something like an almond shape, kind of the shape that my nails are in naturally.
Oh, they're nice and long, yeah.
And something simple, but with a little twist, maybe a little something special to it, I would say. Just like my style,
So maybe something like this could be a vibe. That's what I thought. We could also, we don't have to mix and match because you can also stick to one color. Okay. The ones I'm wearing is like a nice short.
That's also really nice.
A bit more festive.
Also
the stars.
Cute.
So yeah, whilst we are applying the nails, we're just going to talk a bit about your work and your exciting project that you've been up to. But yeah, let me know which one you want to go for.
I think I'm going to go for
the green, the cat eye. They're cute, right?
Also kind of fit my outfit today, I think. Yeah.
So what do you usually put on your nails?
I usually wear some kind of shellac or like at home UV gel polish because I do find it quite therapeutic to do my own nails. So I like doing it. But of course, sometimes I don't have a lot of time. So press-ons are actually a great thing now. But yeah, usually I just apply some kind of UV gel and just under the lamp real quick. And,
Cool. So you do that at home. That's cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, these come in different sizes. So I'm first gonna check your size and then we will start applying. Let's maybe already, because you brought this little cute bag. So whilst I am sizing your nails, tell me a bit more about your project before I unpack this. Maybe a bit of background on
what I do.
Yes.
Yeah. So I recently founded a business with my dear friend Josie, and we host offline dating events for creatives, where we connect people through collaborative activities. So one time it may be a gallery viewing that we do together, and then the next it may be a cooking class or something like a clay workshop or really anything that fits our idea. And the idea is also to make dating less awkward and less cringe. So to focus on these activities that we do together instead of going through the same old questions of like, so what do you do for a living? How many siblings do you have? So we connect people through these experiences that they make together and create a space that allows for them to interact more naturally and for the conversations to flow more naturally. And of course, also as female founders that we are, another thing that we had in mind was safety, of course, because especially for women and also for queer people, safety is a concern while dating, especially when you use dating apps a lot and you may match and meet with someone you've never seen before and don't have any mutuals with. So that way we also bridge this gap and allow people to meet in a group setting first, in a safer space, and then to just see where things go.
I love that. Yeah, I really think it's such a good and important initiative. And how did you, I mean, I have a feeling. How did you come up with this idea?
Yeah, of course, it grew from a personal pain point.
I thought so.
The both of us have been dating for a while now, been in the dating market for a while now. And
by the way, I feel like we have to shout out Josie because that's how we met, right?
Yeah.
So thanks, Josie.
Thanks, Josie, for connecting us again with the connections, real life connections. And of course, we tried all kinds of apps ourselves, and I don't want to talk badly about the apps because they are great in their own regard. And I think
I feel like this is almost like a whole different.
Yeah, so it's a different thing, and I think that it could also
coexist.
Coexist, or even be a nice collaboration. For example, like I listened to this one podcast of a founder of a dating app recently that said. As well, that the future of online dating is offline dating. So it's of course not just us coming up with this idea. I think it's just the zeitgeist as well.
100%, yeah. I mean, that's also, you see a lot of activations at the moment from dating apps trying to, bring it offline as well.
Yeah.
I think that's just in general what we crave, like actual real life connections. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a bit like, going to the gym or doing at-home workouts, like it can coexist, but it's just an alternative.
Yeah. Cool. So what was the moment that you were like, okay, I'm going to make a business out of this? Was there a moment? Or
so we've been working on this for over a year now. And now we're hosting our very first event tonight, which is very exciting, but it's been in the works for a really long time and a lot of back and forth. And eventually we were just like, okay, instead of just complaining about Berlin dating and not finding what we're looking for ourselves, let's just create an alternative. Let's just do it. Let's do something about it. Yeah. And that's how that came about.
That's exactly how I started Isla. It's like, okay, no one can do my nails in the city? Sure.
Yeah.
I'll find someone that wants to work with me and start a nail salon.
Yeah, and I think that's the best motivation as well.
Yeah.
Because then you have that drive and that passion to really put yourself into the business as well.
And then were there moments, because I remember back in the day when I started Isla, there were always moments of like, yes, I'm going to do it. And then 2 weeks later, like, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to give up. This does not make sense.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, I told this Josie the other day, I have this weird thing. I don't know if it's just a me thing, because she was like, I can't relate to that. So maybe it's just a me thing, where sometimes I wake up and then, with a fresh mind in the morning, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Yeah. So especially in these moments, sometimes I do wonder if what we're doing makes sense. But then once I start working on our project again, I'm like, there's a reason why I wanted to do this. And I believe there's a need for it. And that is really then what motivates me to keep going.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, how do you then kind of get yourself motivated again? Like, what do you do? Is there anything you do? Is there like a mantra? Is there like...
Yeah, I think it's both really...
You go back to your dating history.
Yeah. Well, all the shitty dates I had. No, I think it's both really wanting to do something for myself, which also plays into it. Mm-hmm. And then...
Like your own business, really.
Yeah, my own business. Yeah. And then also knowing that this helps people too. Because it's not just, we do sell products as well, but it's not just a product-based business, but it's really something that brings people together. Yeah. And this idea of potentially bringing people together that end up in a romantic relationship is just so exciting.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to happen for the first time. I think it will be a celebratory moment for us.
100%.
And yeah, that is really, by focusing on that, I really get myself out of a rut, I would say.
Yeah. So many questions. You also brought something really cute over here. I'm gonna have a little look in between.
Yeah.
Spark Social Club. Perfectly on brand.
Yes, of course. Specifically for Isla, of course.
So what am I looking at?
They're conversation cards that we created ourselves and that we sell in our shop, but also use at our events. So our events always have an interactive element because we want to get people to connect and talk, of course, and not just stand around like they do a lot of the time at branded events. And so
I'm gonna open it up later because I'm struggling, but that's really cute.
So we have 3 levels. One is like an introductory level where you don't have to answer 2 personal questions, and then it gets more personal with each level.
Cute.
And so this is something you can also use on your own dates.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna bring it to my next date. I'm not a heavy dater. I really struggle to date. I really struggle to find a healthy kind of relationship with dating. I'm always so outcome focused, which is not healthy, and I'm working on it with my therapist. But for me, dating can sometimes feel like a waste of time, or a time that I could have wasted with my friends instead, because we all have busy lives. And then the moment I'm free, I would much rather just kind of put it back in my friendships. But I try to like kind of allow myself to date without a goal, you know what I mean? It's like it can just be fun for the moment. And this is definitely because I hate those questions like, how many siblings do you have? What's your favorite color? What do you do for work? I just really don't like it. And that's also one of the reasons why I'd rather not date in my own city. For some reason I have this weird like, I don't know, we all kind of know each other here, and we're all somehow connected in the creative scene. But I love this idea. You can kind of, I don't know what the questions or the conversation starters on the cards are, but...
Yeah, we aimed to create questions that are a bit more out of the ordinary. Of course, there are also some more basic questions, especially for level 1, but also some that really get you to think and reflect and show a side of yourself that you normally wouldn't show on a first encounter, maybe.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like... you just get a little bit deeper straight away.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember one of my dates, he was really cute, was in London. We opened like a link online to ask these like 25 questions you ask on a first date. And that was really fun because there were questions that I wouldn't have asked right away, but I still would want to know. So that was, very good idea. And are these the products that you were talking about? Is this something you're going to sell as well?
Yes, exactly. We already sell them in our shop.
Cool.
And we're hoping to also sell them elsewhere in the future, but we just started out with them, and then
that's a really
also
cool idea.
Come up with other products in the future.
Cool. You said you wanted to work for yourself. Is that something you always wanted? Like, did you always have like an entrepreneurial spirit, or?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's always kind of been in the back of my mind. I think ever since I was a child, I remember when I was a kid, I would always try and make some money on the side.
Same.
Yeah. And I would always like gather toys that I didn't use anymore and try to sell them to neighbors or something.
So funny,
one time I painted stones, and it was with a color that would wash off right away. But I would go from door to door in my neighborhood and sell them for €2 a piece.
I am dead. Yeah. I did the same thing.
No, really?
So really, I made a magazine, and if I now look at it, it was so embarrassing. Yeah. And I don't think computers were really like common thing, or at least printers. We didn't have a printer at home. I made it by hand, and I sold it to neighbors. And I still till this day don't understand how they paid money for that. But
I guess you're born an entrepreneur.
Crazy, right? Yeah,
and then also later selling books that I didn't need anymore, and really tried to sell whatever I could. And and then I started a fashion blog, I think 10 years ago at this point. Cool. And then I did that alongside my studies, and there was always something I did on the side, and now this is something I want to focus on and really make my main business as well.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
And how do you find working with a friend? Because that can be challenging.
Yeah, it's amazing actually.
Yeah? I love to hear that.
But I do have to say we also know each other very, very well, and I think that really helps. Of course, it also leads to you maybe having less boundaries in a way sometimes, where you're, I don't want to say I snap easily, but maybe you can relate to this, where of course with someone you don't know so well, you would maybe hold back a lot more than with someone you're very close with. But there's also an upside to that, because you can be very honest and open, and you can just really be yourself in the process as well.
Yeah, 100%. I really recognize that. And you two are so different at the same time. So it's like, Yeah, it's nice. I love to see it. You seem like a really good duo.
Yeah, and we're not just different on the outside, we also really each have our own strengths, which is great when it comes to the business, because now it's very clear already, even though we just started out, who is doing what and who is good at what.
Yeah.
And so that just
you
works
need
out
that.
perfectly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My favorite kind of staff members are the ones that are very different to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they bring something that I lack.
Yeah.
Somehow. I know you wanted to make it, or your idea is to make it super inclusive as well. So different sexualities. Like, how do you plan to kind of tackle that?
Yeah. So we also have a waitlist up on our website already where people can sign up themselves. And right now we're also just gathering information on who would like to join the events. And thankfully, we already have different kinds of people sign up, and also all different orientations, which is what we were hoping for. But of course, you never know.
Yeah.
You create a service or product or whatever it may be, and then you have an ideal customer in mind, but you don't know, or a target audience in mind.
Yeah.
But so from what it looks like at the moment, we will definitely host events for all kinds of orientations, and then they will be dedicated events for the orientation. So every event will have it won't be a mix.
Okay.
So we will have specifically straight events, and then events for Flinta or women loving women, and then also events for queer men. So we won't mix and mingle, unless maybe we host parties at some point where there's just that space for that. But then with the smaller, more intimate rounds, that is just how we will have to do it.
So exciting.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And what about age? Asking for me and my friends.
So we always say the main target audience is between 25 to 35.
Okay.
And then we leave some space in each direction, but that is really what we're aiming at. And also from the signups we already got on our wait list, that also seems to be the audience we really attract. So that's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you nervous?
I am.
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
For the event tonight, or in general?
I think in general, but also specifically for the event tonight, because I think after this, and if it hopefully goes well,
it will.
I know what to expect for the next one.
Yeah.
But right now, of course, is just a crucial point in time, because we have this idea in our head, but now is really when we see it come to life.
Yeah. And what about your own dating life? Are you going to join the app?
I'll say a couple of words on that as well. So I'm single myself. And yeah, I won't be joining the rounds as a professional host, of course. I'm not going to be like, so by the way, I'm single myself. But yeah, I am. And but it's funny, because I myself am not really dating right now. So yeah, but how do you say, the coach doesn't play? Or something like that. Yeah. So that's really that. Not much to tell you, unfortunately.
Shame.
Lots of ups and downs, but yeah. Maybe
I mean, I guess you have a lot of learnings.
Yeah.
You know what's kind of needed for a
Yeah.
cute date, and
Yeah, that for sure. Yeah.
I'm really excited. So we're done. Have a look.
Beautiful.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I love it.
It really looks like
I love
coming
the
fresh out the
effect.
salon.
Yeah.
This one, your nail is very long, so we could either file it off a bit,
Yeah.
but it's up to you. But it looks good.
Yeah, I really like
Shape
it.
looks
I
good
like
on
the
you.
color, and the effect is really cool.
I'm going to give you the glue. So in case
you.
anything happens, you can just glue it back on.
Perfect.
There are also extra
Perfect.
ones in here.
I
So
love them.
come over, give you a big
Yeah.
hug. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me and for doing my nails.
Of course.
They
You're
look
ready for
fantastic.
tonight. Yes.